AR and Checkins Pro significantly changed how I manage my business and how I monetize my business. I want to deliver on promises, and I want to get those promises to you as fast as I can. These two systems have sated that for me. They gave me the vehicle in order to do it. So, and I'm forever grateful. I'm Chris Phifer. I'm 32 years old. I hail from the northern tip of Newcastle County, Delaware, a very small state. I've been in the coaching fitness landscape now for almost 10 years, literally 10 years. I started off as a personal trainer, scaled my personal training business over the first 6 to 7 years to doing some pretty significant numbers, which we were pretty excited about. Got rid of the business, just like, I want to move on to something new. You know what I mean? I just was like, I'm ready for a new challenge, and moved to the online coaching landscape where I've been here for about 2 years now. So, and I'm absolutely loving it. It's it's different. It's more fun in my opinion, but it's definitely different. Yeah. So yeah.
So was it 2023 or 2024 that you started online?
2020.
Okay, cool, man. So, like, who are you working with now as an online coach?
So a majority of my business right now is definitely, I mean, we're focused towards bodybuilders for sure. 100%. We have our lifestyle athletes that does make up a decent bit of the, I guess you'd say, like the body or the community that I currently coach right now, but definitely driven towards higher level athletes. Like we work with a lot of high national level qualified athletes. We work with some pro level bodybuilders right now. We have two currently, my first two pro level bodybuilders currently in prep for their first pro debut. Yeah. In 11
what shows
weeks.
Are they doing?
New York Pro. And so we've got two doing New York Pro. One's doing Miami. And then the other one I'm not able to release as of right now. I've been sworn to secrecy. So, but yeah, we got, So
I like it, dude. I like it.
Yeah, man. So thank you.
That's sweet, dude. Yeah. All right. So before we go into that though, you're a pro yourself. Right?
I am. Yeah.
I want you to tell this story.
Okay.
Like, how did you get into bodybuilding?
Man.
Start there, and then kind of tell me like the evolution that you've gone through.
Okay. All right. So what's funny, dude, my obsession with fitness and just like health and wellness in general started actually at a very young age. It started literally in 8th grade. My father, who I love, right? My dad is the epitome of what's not healthy. You know what I mean? My dad, big old fat Italian guy, olive oil and Italian bread for breakfast kind of thing. And my dad, sadly, when I was younger, my dad had a few heart attacks. Mm-hmm. One was a pretty close call. And I just remember, even like I said, I don't even know how old you are in 8th grade, but like looking at my dad and be like, I don't want to be like that. No offense to him. Like, I love my father, but in standards of health in general, it's just like, I don't want to be like that. Like, my dad was sick. He had open heart surgery. It was a huge moment for my twin brother and I. My twin brother actually is also in the fitness landscape. He's just on the other end. He does more physical therapy style work, right? So my obsession with health.
Make a good team then.
Yeah, dude. We bounce a lot of business off one another. Absolutely, 100%. Yeah.
Love that.
Constantly. Yeah. It's cool. We keep it in the family. It's vertically integrated. But no, man, it started in 8th grade, and then I'll tell you what, I went through some pretty rough times. We were kind of touching on that before the record, and while I was away, you either could do two things. You could work out or you could walk. And if you walked, or I'm not gonna say the word, but you could work out, you know what I mean? And I started training, I started working out with some pretty big guys, some pretty interesting guys. And that was something we did for about 2 years. I got home when I was 19. I knew about bodybuilding. I just didn't really know how to go about it. I was just kind of like, man, like, this looks cool. I don't even know who to talk to, especially my area. Like, there wasn't a culture here. There was nothing here. There was a couple gyms. We had like one or two.
Not many people live in Delaware.
Right. Yeah. Like, literally, it's like when people say you're from Delaware, they're like, oh, what part of, Pennsylvania is that? You know what I mean? Literally, I swear to God. I travel. I tell people.
I've met more people from Delaware the last like 6 months than I have ever before. It's really weird.
I didn't even know you people existed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. So there just wasn't a culture. There wasn't a community. So I stayed active in the, I could say like the gym scene per se. Right around 23 was probably one of the most pivotal points in my life. I was, working a job that I was getting to that age where like all my friends that went to college, they graduated, they're starting their careers. I was still bartending. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I was still bartending. And I was like, man, like, I need to do something. You know what I mean? And like, I went to this new gym where the in-house pro was like this big, massive guy. He was an Olympian, big motherfucker. And I was talking to him. He was like, man, you look like you could do a bodybuilding show. I was like, that's crazy. Cause like, I've always wanted to do that. I just didn't know how to do it. He's like, let me show you. You know what I mean? So I was 23 at the time. Yeah, literally. Talked to him for 5 seconds. We picked my first show in 16 weeks. 16 weeks out that day. I'm like, I have no idea what this means. I went through my first ever contest prep, took dead last Actually, no, I beat one guy. I beat one guy. I did beat one guy. I beat one guy. The guy that I beat literally did not show up for finals. He just is like, screw this. I'm over it. I'm done. Did beat one dude. He did. I did. And man, I'll tell you what. I became hooked, bro. It just everything about the sport was just, it gave me discipline, it gave me motivation, it gave me passion, it gave me excitement.
Yeah.
It gave me purpose, dude. And it finally gave, there's a lot of my story I'm missing out, but like it finally gave me a vehicle where I was like, wow, I really feel like if I can tap into this 100%, like there's a future for me. Like I said, like I was looking for a career at the time. I wanted to be a top rated pro, like be that guy. I'm like, we're still figuring that out here. I have obviously my eggs are a little bit in another basket now, but that started the obsession, man. Did my next show like 9 months later, won my first ever division, qualified for national the first time. And that was really it. I competed from the age of 24. I took two years off and then competed at the age of 24 through 30. And I won my pro card when I was 30 at Universe up in Teaneck, New Jersey. And man, I'll tell you what, dude, it's that experience is like one of the highlights of my life. Obviously, it just full circled everything. It justified a lot of the sacrifices that you hear these bodybuilders like we make, right?
Yeah.
Just like,
what was that moment like when you were on stage and then you heard them announce you as like a new IFBB Pro?
Yeah, this is gonna sound cocky, but it didn't come as a surprise that day. It didn't. Like,
why?
It was, man, dude. It was that prep from the second it started to the second it finished. I owned it. Me and my coach. So my coach, Nick, I recently hired him right before that season. And he's a blessing from God, dude. I mean, he is probably one of the most intelligent people I've ever met. He was the first person to really nurture me in the sport. And like that excitement, dude, that motivation, it just carried. And by the time we showed up for show, I woke up that morning, man, and I just knew that day was different. Like, I had this feeling of just like overwhelming confidence. And so when I got on stage, I nailed it. And I'm like, man, it would be literally, this sounds terrible. And I'm not a cocky person. I think you even know that. When I was sitting side stage,
you're
I was
very
like,
humble, dude. That's why I like you.
I appreciate it. But like when I was on the side and they were calling out numbers, I was like, bro, come on, like let's do this. You know what I mean? They called out my number. Me and the other guy. It sounds terrible, man, but like me and this other guy, we battled it out, and we both won. And it was definitely, like I said, like it was something I expected, which is crazy to say, but to actually walk around the corner with that pro card, and then you take a final look before they rip it out of your hands, because you don't walk off with a nice one. They said they give you a pretty shitty one, to be not gonna lie.
A cheap one. That's the one you frame in your office.
Yeah, like the Xerox paper. You know what I mean? Like they're like, oh, you take this. You know what I mean? So, but no, it's like you get that. You look at it, dude. It's just like I almost broke down. Like, and I ended up actually like crying. I'll never forget this. I went back to my Airbnb, and this was probably one of the scariest moments of my life too. It was a crazy day, dude. I remember I get back to my Airbnb, and the first thing you want to do is you just want to wash off that tan. Disgusting. You know what I mean? It's great.
I remember having to get like separate sheets just so you had it.
Just sticky. You're just like kind of like, I don't know, man. I feel like.
You want to hear a quick side tangent? So when I did my 2 shows, I was working a corporate sales job, and they gave me the nickname of Spray Dan.
Hell yeah. Dude,
I don't know if I want that recorded. Oh, dude, I was so orange. I think I made an Instagram post that's like Willy Wonka called They Want Their Oompa Loompa Back.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? Like with your skin tone and the tan, it probably was pretty spot on with that stuff. But no, man, I'll tell you what. Like going back to my Airbnb, the first thing you want to do is tan. And I remember getting into the shower, and I'm kind of standing there. I'm like reveling in the moment, like I did it. And then I swear to God, dude, as soon as I thought that, I realized I never thought about the next step. Like I never thought about what was after going pro, that was like, because I was solely just focused on winning my pro card. And dude, I don't know if anyone can relate to this, but like I had a full blown mental breakdown. Like, I mean, on my knees in the shower crying, because I was like, where do I go from here? Like I was so deadbent, so motivated, right? Just so excited about this one very specific thing that I never once for a second ever thought about the next step. And my fiance at the time, literally, God bless her soul, got in the shower with me, fully clothed, right? And was just like holding me while I was like sobbing my eyes out, because I was, for the first time in my life, man, like I accomplished something which I never did ever. I was a total failure growing up. And it's just like, now it's like, what was that next step? And that was, man, I mean, that was probably one of the scariest moments ever. ever, literally ever. It was still to this day, probably one of the scariest moments, but it was life-changing. I mean, my business took a huge shift after that, like everything. It was nuts. Yeah, it was nuts.
Yeah. Talk to me about like the business side of it. What happened after you turned pro for the business?
I mean, dude, so I was still doing a lot of personal training at the time. Like I wasn't really dipping too deep into the online landscape. But the personal training business took a boom. I mean, like, I increased, as everyone should. All right. Like I increased my rates, obviously, you know what I mean? But like that didn't stop people.
You got 7 letters behind your name now.
100%. You know what I mean? I have an accreditation that not nobody has, but like not many people can get. A lot of people spend their entire lives chasing this thing, and some people do, some people don't. Definitely happens a lot more now than then, but regardless, right? But yeah, the personal training business took a boom, and I was doing it all by myself at that point. It got to the point where I couldn't handle it anymore. I branched out to my own studio where I was working with a business partner of mine. Him and I are still very good friends today. We ran the ever living crap out of that studio until essentially we outgrew the studio. You know what I mean? Like still, like we were just having between him and I, so many people coming in for the business that we went back to essentially my home gym, the training center, and, worked out a deal with the owner, Jack. He's an awesome guy. We started our own business in there where we hired some employees. I think at our most, we had like 6 active employees that worked for us. And dude, we were killing it with the personal training, man. I mean, like I was working full time. All my trainers are basically working full time, and money was, I mean, at that point, that was the first ever big jump in income I ever experienced, as a business owner. Like before I was just like, sure, we were making money, but like it was getting reinvested. It was there, but it was never really there. That year after going pro was the first year where I like looked at my account, like, oh damn, like we got some wiggle room. You know what I mean? Like I could go do something and not feel guilty about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
that's awesome.
Yeah, bro, it was nuts, man. That was probably, and that's what got my foot into the door.
Kind of talk to me about like the clients you're working with. How many pro cards have you gotten so far? Like, what are kind of some of your success stories that you've seen over the last few years?
Sure. So in the last 2 years, we've been able to generate 3. So 2 years ago, we had 2 walk out of nationals, a wellness and a bikini. Last year, we walked out with a single one, another bikini. So in 2 years 2 years, 3 pros, pretty good. And right now, dude, I mean, I work specifically with a lot of very high level, nationally qualified athletes, pro level athletes at this point now too. I'm getting my 2 girls ready for their pro debut. Both of them do ask me to not, well, I guess, did I already say it earlier? Yeah, I guess I did. Like both of them are getting ready for the New York Pro. One's going to do the Miami afterwards. The other one, like I said, I have to keep that one a secret for right now. We're going to drop in, dark horse it. But yeah, that's really about it. I mean, there's another big like clinical like wellness side of my business that I'm really, really, really passionate about right now too. Working with not inherently athletes, but a lot of athletes do kind of traverse between both these realms here, where we really focus on more just like health and wellness stuff right now. Dom Kuza has been like a huge motivating force behind that. I mean, getting affiliated with his business, and asking him for mentorship, man, has been
literally drinking one of the energy drinks he sent us.
I swear to God, dude, anything Dom posts, I buy and I immediately subscribe to it. Like the cadence drink.
I started buying Revive and Raw after like we started working with him. I'm like, I've got to support my friends.
Bro, dude. So like he posted this cadence like electrolyte drink. I bought a case of it. Oh, yeah. Now my monthly subscription is like $200 a month now. Like I can't stop. Well, what he posts is good. First off, I wouldn't buy it if I didn't trust him. Like, 100%, 100%. But yeah, I mean, he's been a huge motivator, and huge support on that end too. I mean, his blueprint is, I mean, for any like a tip for any coach, bodybuilding, wellness, whatever, doesn't matter. If you want to get ahead of the game, you got to be a forever student. I literally tell people this all the time. Like, I am so happy that I'm the dumbest friend. I am my dumbest friend with all the people I surround myself with. I am, but that means I'm in the right room, man. Like, I don't want to be the smartest guy I talk on a regular basis. Like, not that, I mean,
go ahead. If you're the smartest guy in the room or if you're the strongest guy in the room, you're in the wrong room.
Exactly. But dude, and Dom was someone I always really looked up to. I followed his career for years, right? Getting into the blueprint was the best decision mentally, spiritually, financially I ever did. Because not only is he teaching you how to build a business, but he's teaching you how to be really good, which a lot of coaches nowadays, I feel like they forget, is that you got to get really good at coaching in order to make a lot of money sustainably, right? You can make a lot of money very quickly. You could scale fast, but no one's going to stick around if you suck at your job.
Exactly. Yeah. You build the product and the people come.
Exactly.
Because then I mean, your business has grown a lot off of just word of mouth referrals, right?
Yep. I've never ran a single ad. Not yet. Mike's going to talk me into it, I know, when I come see you guys, but up to this point.
Oh, we'll talk you into a bunch of things when you come see us, like
100%.
Doing one of the coach operator workshops. Like, we're going to talk you into one of those for sure.
My credit card. I mean, it wasn't hard to take my information the first time we talked. I was ready to sign up after I saw you. I'm like, yeah, this guy looks trustworthy.
I appreciate that. It means I'm not a fat ass. Actually, Mike kind of made the joke to me a little bit because In-N-Out is like one of my like favorite foods. Like, I love burgers. Yeah. And I was probably having a little too much, and he kind of made some subtle comments. And then a few weeks ago, right before I moved up, I posted a photo, and I was like, well, this is what happens when you can get consistency and 3 weeks consistency full body training. Whatnot. He goes, AI. And I just replied, no, fueled by my friends shaming me.
Yeah. Hey, sometimes it's a tactic that does work, bro. You got to hit those inner strings.
Yeah. So how well is the business doing right now?
It's doing well. We're hitting numbers that, even a year ago, man, I really like never thought possible. You know what I mean? My biggest month. So we closed on my biggest month. It was $35,000 last month, excuse me. Was, and it was a pretty big scale because I started with you guys in December, right around that 20, 21, 25 marker. And within a month and a half, almost 2 months, we scaled it upwards of 10,000. You know what I mean? So, but this is also, and it's funny because I always wanted to get here, and I always figured like when I would get here, I'd be like, man, like I'd finally be happy. Like this is good. Like this is where like I'll be satisfied. Bro, I got more ever since joining really AR and like Checkins Pro. And look, this is the honest to God truth. I was even telling my girlfriend about this. It's like with the amount of time I've gotten back just from so many things being streamlined for me, like stuff I don't have to worry about anymore. I'm like, I got more fuel in the tank, bro. Like, let's go to 50 or 100 or even more. I don't know. Let's just see where this lands. You know what I mean? So,
dude, like, what are some of those things that are now saving you time?
The biggest thing, man, is just onboarding. Like the documentation, the liability forms, all that stuff, getting that signed and like not having to chase people around for it. Right. The efficiency of the dashboard is something I like. The dashboard for me, because I'm a visual person. Right. So it's like having everything I need in one place at one click instead of doing tab this, bring this over, which is what I was doing before. Dude, like it's almost like a no-brainer sort of thing. But like it took me years of just caveman tactics and just like outworking myself to finally get to the point of like, there's got to be a better way. Right. And like just being able to like tap into, a system that you guys have to once again streamline all that stuff. I didn't know how much time I was losing every day, Dan. Yeah. Like literally until like the first month in when things were rolling, I was like, holy shit, dude, I can actually like sit down at the end of the night and not feel stressed because I have more stuff to do. You know what I mean? First time in my life.
How many hours a week do you think you were working before you signed up with AR?
I mean, easy, bro. I start my workday at 8:30, right? Like let's say 8:30. I don't end until probably 9:30, 10:30, right? Okay. Now, dude, and this is the honest God truth, man. Still start my day at like 8:30. I get done basically everything that's really important by 5:30, 6 o'clock.
Let's go, dude.
And like I can finally, this is the first time in years I can go to the gym and not feel totally distracted because I have more work that I have to get to. Like when I go home and I work, it's for me to get a head start on the next day. It's no longer because I owe people anything. It's been a remarkable change.
Dude, I love that, man, because that's something that I've noticed a lot with a lot of our coaches that come in. It's the time savings. Because like we, as coaches, we get into online coaching, so we want freedom. And then what happens? We work more than if we were working like a 9 to 5.
That had to be in my face.
Yeah. Oh, I remember when I started, I left a corporate job where I was traveling a lot, but I would still work 9 to 5. And I'm like, there are nights I work till like 9 or 10. Like, what the hell? There's got to be a smarter way to do this. Right. So you saying that just reinforces like, that's what people need to hear, is that hard work is good. But if you're working too hard, you're honestly just wasting your time. There's a much smarter way to work.
Yeah. And quality
that's where like, I mean, you became a coach to transform lives. You just don't want to transform your life into being a slave.
Yeah.
And working so much.
Literally, that is a perfect point, man. I mean, I got into online coaching because the allure of coaching, like besides actually just genuinely having like a deep love and passion for the business and the model, I got into coaching because I can do way more packages, or I can do way more packets, I call it, but like I can take care of way more clients in a day with coaching than I could in personal training. So right then and there, I'm like, the coaching landscape is going to be way more lucrative, right? The process of getting a coaching business integrated where it's profitable, like and like people are coming to you, because again, like at least for my business, like I said, like I've never used really any money in advertisement. It's just been quality of service and just like living by your word and providing a service that like you make a promise and you're going to deliver on it, right? Now I can just do that way faster, which is awesome. You know what I mean?
And then that just helps it grow so much easier for you too.
For sure.
One thing I wanted to ask you is like, what made you want to book a call with AR?
So I'm not going to lie, man. I legit had no idea what you guys did when I booked a call with you guys.
Okay. Love that. Love that.
Swear to God on my life, dude. I was just seeing like a bunch of ads and I was seeing, a bunch of like, dude, guys in the space that I really respect, guys that are younger than me. You know what I mean? I think Taylor Moore was probably like the one coach that I followed that was like constantly posting you guys. And I was like, you know what? I have no idea what this is about, but like, I'm going to be stupid if I at least don't talk to someone. Right. So when I called you, when I booked a call with you guys, I really thought you guys were like lead generators. Like you guys would just give me leads, which is something I was like, I'm not really about it. Like, I don't want that. I'm like kind of an enthusiast. Additionally, I don't want anyone on my Instagram, like, messaging people for me. I find that to be disingenuous. And, when you talked to me and you broke it down, I didn't know I needed it until you explained it. Because as you were talking to me, because you're the first ever interaction I had with AR, I was like, holy shit, dude. Like, this is not what I thought this was going to be, but like, this might be something I should try. And it was better than I expected. That's for sure. So
salesman did his job then. Heck yeah, dude.
You did a great job.
When I was like breaking it down, what stood out to you the most that like kind of made you say like, yeah, this is what I need, even though I didn't think I needed it before the call?
First off, it was really like that segment in your talk where it was just like, you're going to get more time back. Because that was something I was really in my head struggling with. I mean, look, like, when you're at that, Baker says it a lot, but like when you're at that 2025 monthly marker, you're just like, you're not busy enough to really like outsource much work, but you're so busy that you're never like you don't have a day off. And I was in that, that role right there where I was like, I'm miserable. Like I'm burned out. Like this is becoming more of a job than less of a passion at this point. And, and my social life was suffering. Not that I have a social life, but like, bro, I'm 30 or 32. I like to sit down at the end of the night, watch some fucking anime with my dog and relax. You know what I mean? Like that's how we chill. Right. I think for the most part, right. When you said that really struck a chord. Right. And not going to lie, dude, probably even bigger than that was like, I get down with your guys' community, bro. Like I'm a super big, like I need the vibes. Like I need camaraderie, right? And especially in the coaching, I swear on this too, dude. The coaching landscape is way more competitive than the competitor landscape. Like I don't care as a competitor for many years, now as a coach, it is way more competitive in the coaching business, and that can really create some sickening animosity for no reason. Like I don't live like that, but like there are people that hate you just because you're good at what you do. You know what I mean? Like you guys really, yeah, I'm sure. I mean, even with like what you guys do in your specific niche in the industry, but you guys, your community is awesome, bro. Like that was probably the most attractive thing outside of the actual tangible service you guys are selling.
Yeah, dude. We don't let everyone in. Like that's why we don't do contracts. We don't do term lengths. Like we only want to work with people that want to work with us, because at the end of the day, like you guys shouldn't have to convince a bodybuilder to like follow the plan. Like they should know how to do it. We're not going to convince anyone to stay with us. And because if you have to convince someone to do the work, like they're not going to actually do the work. So we want to make sure we have like the right people in, and we just believe so much in, treating people right, doing the right thing, building the best product, that we're confident enough to be like, hey, you can walk away at any time. You probably won't because you like us, you like what we do, but we want to give people that option because that also builds a level of trust too.
Yeah. I mean, dude, it's like when you passed me off I guess not you, but when I got passed off to Liz, dude, Liz, when like the business first launched on AR, probably hated my guts because of all the questions. I was like, dude, I'm like, what do I do? You know what I mean? And first off, she's awesome. But like but the way she handled it, right? Because like, look, I was even looking at my phone and be like, man, I got to ask her. You know what I mean? Because like I was being very needy. Like, but the way she handled it was like so graceful, man. You know what I mean? And like that's the kind of customer service. Like when I'm spending money, dude, and especially if I'm spending, I wouldn't say considerable, but consistent money on something, like you want to be treated like you're the only client. Well, like Liz, you, Mike, Baker, you guys do that in your own very unique ways. Like I've never once felt like I was a part of a crowd rather than part of a community, right? But and being an individual that stood out in that community too, where you guys have accounts that are in the hundreds of thousands, monthly. I'm over here just doing, like a measly, well, I know it's not measly, but you get what I'm saying, in comparison to what they're doing.
Yeah.
I feel just as important as that guy, and that was like insane, plus all the added benefits. It really is. It was like a no-brainer. Like I was reaching for my card as you were like, okay, so what are we good? I'm like, just don't lose my spot.
Yeah, I know. I didn't have to like hard sell you, which those are the best ones, dude, because what I love about that is you came in open-minded too. Yeah. And I don't think everyone always does. I think some people can have a very closed mind. And, it was like, hey, I actually need this more than I think. I'm getting a benefit out of it that I didn't know I could get. Yeah. And it sounds like the biggest thing for you that's changed is like you just have more free time. So you get time back. It sounds like life is just really kind of taken off for you because you have free time back.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, I'm not gonna lie, dude. It was scary, man. Like December was definitely, it was a hard month in general. Just like, work's coming to an end. Like that's the last like big push is going in the nationals, but I was really just burned out. Like, and I am not a tactful person. Like I'm not a strategist. I'm just a let's just work harder kind of guy. And I was really getting exhausted because every time I worked harder, it's just like I made more problems for myself. And I learned that you can't outwork a good system. Someone can put in, let's say, like 60% effort and generate the exact same end result while I'm putting in 150% effort and not getting ahead. AR and Checkins Pro, right, both have significantly changed how I manage my business and how I monetize my business. Because as I said, I'm someone that I want to deliver on promises and I want to get those promises to you as fast as I can. These two systems have sated that for me. They gave me the vehicle in order to do it. So, and that's, I'm forever grateful.
Yeah, let's dig into Checkins Pro a little bit. What's been the biggest benefit for you from like the Checkins Pro side specifically? Like, what have you noticed now versus what you were doing before?
So before, any coach that doesn't take notes is not doing their job. And I realized that pretty early on, because when you're managing a team of 60, 70, 80, 100 people, like right now we're in between like 105, like 110 clients. I don't care what any coach says. There's no way you remember every adjustment you made last week for all 110 clients. That's physical. I mean, maybe you're better than I am, but like me was not my story. So I was taking notes. I'm definitely not that smart. Not even close. I'll be fully honest. But I was taking notes on everything. But you're in a rush. Sometimes you just like, you're distracted. Something comes up. A phone call comes in. You forget to take that note. You forget that you didn't take that note, and you move on, right? And then come next week, you're like, fuck, like, what did I do? And then you're like trying to ask the client, like, hey, confirming my notes, like, did I do X, Y, and Z? You know what I mean? So it was like, it was something where I was like running in circles around it. Checkins Pro, being able to like literally click the portfolio, have the client portfolio pop up, have all their check-ins pop up so I can do in real time comparison, yet also ask essentially the assistant in the check-in form saying, hey, what did I do last week? And it just spitting out the exact adjustment that I made has made my life so much better because I'm never not in control. Like that's where coaches lose. I swear they lose control of the project because they don't even know where the project's supposed to go. That's where you hear clients like, oh, we were like stuck in this area for like 6 months. It's like, that's loss of control because you have loss of direction because you lost leverage. You lost control, right? Checkins Pro gave me that control back, right? And it gave me the ability to be able to preach a consistent message over and over and over and over again. So the client never felt like they were just stuck, right? And the client was also experiencing progress because we're doing what we set out to do in the first place. That's the biggest thing that sold me, or that I realized with Checkins Pro how powerful it is. 100%.
Yeah. Are you feeling like client results are getting that much better now that you have Checkins Pro? Yeah.
It all stems from a controlling position. Like as an athlete, we look to, as an athlete, I'll speak as an athlete, we look to our coach for direction and guidance, right? If we don't have that direction and guidance, we're essentially spinning our wheels, right? We're not really making any progress. We're not losing anything, but we're not really making any progress. Check-ins, again, because it gave that control back to me where like I have a definite of purpose. Like I have a very clear vision of what we're doing because I know what I did last week, the week before, the week before, the week before, the week before, so on and so forth, that like we're able to really drive and steer right where we really need to go and deliver on that stuff. Plus, even the health metrics I have my clients track, having that up and, the comparisons it does make, like the pattern seeking stuff. At first I was like, I'm like nervous about like someone else doing that for me because I'm the best at seeing it. But it's less of like, okay, they're realizing something and rather me having a conversation and just me seeing, right, really what the, I don't want to say the accuracy of it is, but like, I guess like second checking my train of thought. Right. So like even in that sense, again, with all the health metrics and all that stuff, being able to scale back a few weeks, see if they degress, see if they improve, it's a night and day difference, man, because I'm not going through a notebook. It's scrolling.
Yeah.
Literally. You know what I mean?
So many coaches are using notebooks. I remember when I had a bodybuilding coach, I'm throwing it back here in 2017.
Hell yeah.
10 years ago. Wow. I feel old right now. That. Yeah. Felicity turned 25 last Friday, and I'm just like,
must be nice. Yeah.
We made a comment about Y2K, and she's like, "Oh, like the band?" And I'm like,
"Yeah, nope, you got it. I'm gonna go. Nope. What am I head this? Yeah, that big window. I'm coming through it. Jesus, man.
Yeah, it's just 7 floors down. Don't mind me right here.
Worth it. Yeah, I mean, solely humble.
Oh man, yeah. But remember, my coach I would have to text him my pictures. And then he would have to go to his notes and then be like, okay, what are we doing here? And he once told me, he's like, I have a coach that has 50 clients and does this. And I'm like, that sounds overwhelming. No idea that 10 years later, I'd now be with a company that's helping coaches do that exact same thing and make it that much more efficient. All right, we got to wrap this thing up here a little bit. I want you to give me like, what's one piece of advice that you would give to a coach out there? It can be any coach. What's your parting words of wisdom? That's probably the way to put this.
I'll say this. I kind of touched on it before. A lot of people in today's landscape are focused on the wrong thing. They're focused on the end result. They're focused on the lifestyle. They're focused on, the money. Look, like coaching has become so like glamorous. It's like the cars, the houses, the vacations, like that's fantastic. Right. And if you could scale your business with zero passion and you can get there, by all means, like that's on you. Right. The best, most sustainable way from what I've seen, again, I've been involved in fitness for 10 years now. And the coaches that have outstood the rest and are still here, that are still relevant, are the coaches that genuinely care about their client, yet simultaneously can provide the service to back that care. Right. Like I see so many people that are wildly uneducated, talking about certain things that they have no business to talk about, right? And because of that, they're getting clients in that feel like they think they know what they're doing and they don't. And coaching, really, dude, we have an influence on the individual's health, right? Like, and people don't understand that. Last year alone, the amount of clients I had to fix just due to poor coaching was absurd. And it got to a point where I was getting actually really frustrated and I resented this, this industry because there were so many people in here that just don't know, ignorance, or just don't care to know. Right. So the biggest thing I can tell anyone is like, focus on just being a good coach. The rest of the stuff comes in time. If you can legitimately provide consistent results, right? And I mean, in your resume, your repertoire, right? Your clients that you've coached in the past, you can get them to make changes. That's the only thing that matters, right? Being a forever student, like I said, I am the stupidest of all my friends. And I love that because I'm never not learning. Dude. I learn something new every day and I'm so happy about it. Right. So yeah, if it's anything in a nutshell, educate yourselves, right? Focus on your clients. The end goal is going to come, but just get good at your freaking job. So I stopped taking your clients and fixing your poor mistakes, basically. There you go.
I like it, dude. I like it, man. You've been one of the people once you joined, like, you've just been fun to like talk to, like hang out. Like I know you and I, we'll message back and forth sometimes. We'll give each other a little bit of shit, but you're the kind of people that we like working with. You're a very humble guy. You're very appreciative of like the people around you, and you don't act like a know-it-all. You come in like willing to learn, and I think that's where a lot of people struggle. Is like they want to feel like they know everything, but there's actually a lot more power in like admitting that, hey, I don't know everything, so I'm gonna hire people to help. I'm gonna ask for help. And that's why people get coaches in the first place. And it's funny, coaches don't always do the same things that they tell their clients to do.
Ego, but listen, man. I was at a point where I needed help and you guys came, and I am grateful for it every second after that. So I appreciate it. I appreciate the opportunity to get on here and talk to you as well. Thank you.
Yeah, dude. It's been fun having you on here.